And now the moment no one has been waiting for. The Minecraft movie review. As a child, he yearned for the mines. Chat, I don't know what I could add other than, I watched the movie. No, I didn't see it in No, I didn't see it in the theater because I just didn't have the time and I didn't really feel like going and getting punched in the face. Obviously, I'm joking, but I did see the movie and we're going to talk a little bit about the differences. I'm sure some chat members are going to tell me what I missed. As I learned, I missed some scene that is different. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I saw the Minecraft movie. I'm not saying I saw a version that was from an unscrupulous website or anything that had unfinished special effects. But, there was definitely a moment that looked a little weird, and I thought it was a bold choice. So, yeah. So listen, the thing about the movie is it's not that bad. It's really kind of not. Where it gets bad is when everything is just kind of as predictable as any other movie I've ever seen. In the sense that, like, okay, once things get moving, you know where it's going. You can predict almost every story beat. What I liked about it was that Jared Hess directed it, and he is the guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite, and he directed Gentlemen Broncos, which is a movie I really enjoy that kind of is insane, and Jermaine is in it from Flight of the Conchords, Jermaine Clement, and Jermaine is also in the Minecraft movie, which surprised me. I thought that some of the stuff in this weird, like, kind of middle America Idaho town was actually almost more entertaining than the Minecraft stuff. I'm definitely in the minority for this, but it's true. I kind of enjoyed it because it felt like Napoleon Dynamite, which, is a weird movie that some people really get and like, and some don't, but I kind of like it. So I thought it was really interesting that this director still managed to put his, like, fucking weirdo stamp on this movie. But that's kind of where I thought it was interesting, is when it did more of that. What I ended up enjoying, I mean, I didn't see the final special effects for a lot of scenes, and those made me laugh a lot, actually. When there were scenes with unfinished special effects, it was very funny. But I could see Jared Hess actually trying to, like, sit down with a writer or several writers trying to figure out how the fuck do we make a movie about Minecraft? And you could almost see, like, all of the pieces of the script fall into place. And you know what? It was kind of good in some areas. Like, some of it was pretty funny. Like, I liked how they had a character, the Jason Momoa character, who was like a Billy Mitchell type. He's like an ex-gamer legend, and now he's washed up. Now, allegedly, Billy Mitchell type, of course. But what I'm trying to say is, first of all, his outfit was whatever. Macho Man. I don't know what the hell was going on there. And a lot of his comedy, quote unquote, I thought was very unfunny. But, because a lot of the comedy comes from he falls down, like he hits head on the ground. But I thought it was kind of interesting how he found this cube from Steve. And it was like, here's this empty lot. And it was just a very, very predictable, stupid, silly plot. But it kind of worked. It was just kind of like bizarre enough to get them into the world. And then all the characters come together and then they go do Minecraft adventures. And none of that was all that interesting to me. It was just kind of generic video game movie. There were a lot of attempted laughs and, like, quips and jokes that did not do anything for me. And then Jack Black. This is where the movie is going to really work or fall flat completely for people. What did Vinny think of the 69 scene? Oh, I'm getting there. We'll get there. The 69 scene was very interesting. It was a bold choice. It was as interesting as this. I thought this was also a bold choice. It's like, I'm almost surprised they didn't build the previs scenes in Minecraft itself. But, yeah, I mean, Jack Black was 100% Jack Black. He did nothing outside of my expectations of him. He did the lines, flint and steel. The one thing I regret about not seeing it in the theater is I really kind of wanted to hear about people's reactions, because him just saying the names of things from the game are getting like insane reactions to the point where sometimes police have to be called to the theaters. I picture it at like this. It's a group of it's a theater full of kids. They're laughing, right? They're starting to laugh. Then they start throwing popcorn. Then he says, "Diamond armor, full set." And then they start puking. And then eventually when they say, "Chicken Jackie," then they start fighting. But here's the thing. They're punching each other in the face, but they can't stop watching the movie. So they're not registering the pain. So now they're bleeding. And then he goes, rocket boots or whatever. And then they're just brawling. But again, none of them are taking their eyes off the movie. That's what I picture the theater experience would have been like. I don't know if that's true. Maybe chat can confirm. But so I don't have that experience. So I really kind of almost wish I watched it in the theater. I think there's almost a quality to this movie of like, it's like The Room, in the sense that there's a lot of laughs that aren't intended. And then there's moments where I think the director and the people making this movie knew that they were making this absolute like dog shit, and they just leaned into it. Every single fucking scene, Jack Black is acting like a cartoon character. His delivery is like, "Over the hills and far away, we have to go to the mansion." It's like, what is happening with this dialogue? There's an attempt at having a heart in the story. There's a couple characters that try to, the child character, he becomes a Minecrafter. First we mine, then we craft, and then he and his sister reconcile. The Jason Momoa character is there as well, and same for the other woman who is there as well. But there's like an attempted Jason Momoa character arc. It's a kind of a very basic script 101. They get to the Minecraft world at like 1/3 of the way through the film. The third act begins exactly when it should. Like, you can see the script on the screen. But I will say there were some genuinely entertaining moments, which were probably unintentional. Then there was a 69 scene where Jason Momoa and Jack Black had it was a weird undertone to this scene. Very, very loving. But they had to, while riding with wings and like rockets, I guess, I forget, they had to squish each other tightly to get through a hole while 69ing. People are saying, "I thought Joel was joking." No, it's real. There was, there was dancing. There was songs from Jack Black. "Let me tell you about diamonds now. Let me show you what I've gone and found." And it's like, oh, man. I'm not really into the shtick. There's moments where it's like, it's kind of just like funny for a minute, and then there's a whole other part of it where I'm just like, okay, the Mario movie had successful songs, and now this has 4 songs. So it makes me also wonder, what would this movie have been if Jack Black was never born? It would have been a completely different film. Like, completely. because like so much of this is him as Steve being him as Steve. So I don't. Yeah, Jack White, sure. Matt Berry almost got to play Steve. That would have been weird. Because and then Matt Berry got a little cameo in the film, but I think that would have been an interesting. He's got a completely different sense of comedic styling, so I don't know what that would have been. Also, may I just say, none of those guys, both of those guys, do not look like I picture Steve. But then again, and here's where some people are going to get kind of upset with me. I find Minecraft in general to be kind of hideous, like mostly. And these designs do not translate well. And when the special effects were actually finished, there were moments where it was like a vampire looking into sunlight for me. I was just like, ah. It's like, you know, there was like a weird, like when I first saw the trailer, I had this like visceral reaction against the llama or the, you know, whatever it was. There was like a chicken or a pig. And I'm like, man, that is ugly. It's that cow again, that cow image with the stretched face. The villagers are, I get the joke with Jennifer Coolidge. She's always great. She's always really funny. And, you know, you saw in the trailers, she falls in love with a villager and he's got his big nose in front of his mouth and whatever. Yeah, it's funny because, you know, he looks like that. But man, some of those designs are just really bizarre to see. Like, I can imagine someone who's never played Minecraft ever looking at this movie, who has never seen any of the visuals, and being like, this is disgusting. Like, actually disgusting. So, yeah, so there was that. Some of the stuff that they showed, I've played Minecraft. I didn't grow up with it, but I played it on release. You know, early on, I played it a number of times over the years. I do enjoy it. I really do. I'm not usually in the mood for it, but once every 5 years. But I know a little bit about it, and it seems like they got most of the details right. You know, there's a lot of Leo pointing at the screen moments. It's like, oh yeah, that is a chicken jockey. Oh yeah, that is a diamond armor, but it's not a full set. Some of the mechanics from the game, they did translate into the movie to a large degree of some degree of accuracy, I would say. So, I mean, fans of the game and kids are probably going to enjoy this movie. Listen, this review is already 4 or 5 days late. So, it's already one of the most successful movies, you know, ever. It outperformed Mario in a similar time frame. It's the best-selling movie of the year. I mean, it's going to do just fine. And people are now memeing this movie into a Rocky Horror Picture Show where even I was tempted to go to the theater just to see people's reactions. So this is going to be a really weird example of a midnight movie, meaning people going like a Rocky Horror or even The Room or other movies that involve audience participation. Except this isn't a cult classic. It's just a box office fucking smash. And I feel like it's going to be brought back to theaters a lot. And people like 10, 20 years from now, like the kids that are going to this thing screaming at the screen are going to be doing that the same way a bunch of dumbasses are throwing spoons when Tommy Wiseau shows up in the room. So I was tempted just to see what that would be like at my local theater. But no, I watched the previs version instead. And you know what? I was satisfied with that decision. So yeah, I mean, in short, the movie was, a lot of references, a lot of, I know that, a lot of Jack Black saying everything dramatically, like everything. It actually got annoying. It really did start getting annoying. And then, you know, there's like, everyone's a family in the end, and there's a heart and soul aspect to the movie. A lot of jokes fell flat. A lot of them were just like, you know, nose air. You know what I mean? Like when you just kind of like, you're like, there's some of that. And there were some decent things. Like I said, a good quarter to a third of the movie felt like Jared Hess, the director, making something kind of like Napoleon Dynamite. Like there was a tater tot launcher. What? Um, when the movie wasn't in this like gross, garish Minecraft world, it actually did look like Napoleon Dynamite a little bit, like just this small town weirdness. And again, it was kind of charming. So yeah, very predictable movie. Very, I think, safe by the numbers. There's a spoiler. Here's a spoiler. Here's my only spoiler. It's nothing, so you don't even have to mute. In my opinion, it's dumb. You're gonna watch this movie and you're gonna predict all of this stuff. It's movie making by the books. But here's a spoiler. Unmute in like 30 seconds. Okay. Jason Momoa's character, quote unquote, dies. And as I was watching the movie, I'm like, he should just stay dead. Like he should really. That would be fucking phenomenal if like. Okay, so it's a clear like they don't show him dying. He just kind of falls off a bridge and that explodes. And, you know, it's like, okay, we know he's coming back. Of course he's coming back. But man, I would have loved it if he just stayed dead. And then the post-credit scene was his grave. And then the camera kind of like dollies down. Like it just kind of pans down, you know, to the dirt. And then you see the headstone. And you think like a hand is going to come up. But nothing happens and the movie just ends. All right, you can unmute. That would have been bold. In terms of yeah, I mean, in terms of references and stuff, there was all there. There was the zombies, there were the skeletons, lots of creepers. So I don't know. I didn't completely hate it. I didn't think it was like fucking god awful. It's just weird and kind of ugly and overly safe. My favorite scene, however, was this one. It's really weird, but at one point, the movie zoomed out from some dude's laptop, and then the Flash showed up with a bunch of money. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. That's a cool, unique scene. That's just this cut you watched. No, I'm pretty sure that's in everything. So what did I miss, chat? Tell me what I didn't see, because there was a different cut. What will the sequel plot be? It doesn't matter. I saw the post credits. Hero Brine reference. Did you see a villager get hit by a fucking car? Of course, yeah. Did you see the post-credit scene? I did. And if you don't want me to spoil the post-credit scene, I can't believe I'm saying that for the fucking Minecraft movie. Matt Berry, that's him at the end. So the longest song wasn't in the final cut, I guess. Well, thank God for that. Of all the scenes I've had over the years with different people, different actors, all the sex scenes and stuff, I have to say, I think my scene with Nitwit the Villager, I think is the most I've ever been attracted to a character. Certainly turned on, said Jennifer Coolidge. Okay. There's another post-credit scene. I'm literally watching this right now. Like, it's just on YouTube for some reason.
Hi, sorry, the bug.
Now listen, I don't know what the legality of me playing the audio of this is.
I used to live here, and
So I'm just going to mute. I'm watching it. Chat here. Okay, listen.
I'm Alex, by the way.
Alex, great to meet you.
That's the post-credit scene. Oh. Oh. It's really funny to me that that's the post-credit scene. But I was gonna say because these characters don't have a character. Like Steve is just a dude with a weird face, and Alex is another one who is just put in the game for you to play as. But then I'm remembering there's a ton of extended Minecraft lore. There's fucking, I'm sure people who are really plugged into Minecraft are losing their fucking minds at the insinuation that Alex is in the next movie. But, no. There's a story mode. Steve has a character. When he was a kid, he was yearning for the mines. The extended lore has nothing to do with Steve or Alex. Well, this is if that's the case, then yeah, Jenny should be in the movie. If that's the case, then here's what I'll say. Scorsese was right. If Marvel movies were an amusement park ride, this was one of them rides at a carnival with a couple bolts missing, and it smells weird, and you don't win any prizes from this carnival. So that's my opinion. I feel like this is the lowest possible, like, okay, you have the post-credit scene, here's Alex. There's no character there. If, like in a Marvel movie, at least you have people, like, they developed the characters. I feel like by the end of the Avengers movies, I knew those characters to a large degree, and I'd never read the comics. I get, like, they teased Nick Fury. I didn't know who he was, but I know a lot of people had, like, tons of many years of lore, and he had a full-ass complete character. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of now just, like, again, here's the movie. A little bit of a director vision, which, again, I really like Jared Hess as a director for some reason. And then, surprisingly, some of his directorial voice actually shined through the movie, which is a shock that he wasn't just some, like, hack studio gun for hire. But you got a little bit of that, which is I liked. And then the rest of it was just Jack Black emphatically saying the names of things in Minecraft. Then they show you the things. Now, one last thing I'll say is, when I was looking up, like, audience reactions to the movie, because it's like at a really high audience ranking, people were like, I think it said, I don't know how Google quantifies this, but like 97% of people were blown away by the visuals. And the scenes that were complete, it was exactly every other special effects driven movie I've seen over the past 25 years, except it was Minecraft, which I already, like I said, find inherently ugly. So, and I'm a fan of Minecraft. I like playing it. And I was thinking about doing a playthrough. Like, I actually do like playing it. But if the special effects are like, people wanted me to talk about how cool they were, and like, they go through in the air, there's like ghasts flying around, and there's all these things. Like, you know what it looked like? Ugly Lord of the Rings. Miniature ugly Lord of the Rings. That happened I thought that a couple times while I was watching it. So, The Hobbit, well, man, even The Hobbit is cinema compared to this. When I'm almost glad I watched the shitty special effects version, because again, it was a little funnier. It was interesting from a filmmaking standpoint, and the movie could not rely on its special effects to win me over. So, as I was watching, I'm like, yeah, this is an action CGI movie by the numbers. They were, a couple of them were fine. They fought. the zombies and the skeletons. They did, and it was completely acceptable for this type of movie. So, the VFX are kind of impressive, though. Great to hear. I can't maybe be the full judge of that. You could argue I didn't even see the movie properly, and I'm fine with that. I'm some asshole that says speen for a living. So you don't have to take this review as anything other than me just having a good time talking about some bullshit. If the special effects were any good, I wouldn't know because most of it looked ugly. But a lot of what I saw had finished special effects, and I thought they were, yes, it is the Minecraft world. I thought it was interesting that they had real costumes for the villagers and then CGI'd their heads. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, there's some decent music. I guess, like, Ozzy was in there and Depeche Mode. And then Jack Black was singing, and I was like, oh god. And then he was like, Flint and Steel! Oh god. Oh man, Jack Black. Crazy, though, his gambit paid off. Of acting at an 11 for this film, it fucking paid off. People that don't like Jack Black, this is going to make you not like him even more. But if you want to see a dude go like full bore into the most annoying, well, hang on. Just going like over the top. Let's just say over the top. He does that and it pays off because it became very mimetic. To the point where now people are clapping and going nuts. So it in my opinion, that's a success. And that's the movie. I don't really have anything else to say. So I don't want to give it a number score or anything, but it was amusing. I don't regret watching it. It was 90 minutes or so. Whatever. It's fine. So, whatever. You have any other questions for me? It succeeded in entertaining in an unintentional way. To some degree, sure. Someone said, I regret you watching it. What do you think about this to compare to when the Mario movie came out? Very similar. I genuinely feel very similarly. Like, the Mario movie was less unintentionally entertaining and more just bland fun by the books, doing everything safe and avoiding Mario 93. And the Minecraft movie, the plot felt very safe. The whole kind of thing felt like, again, I could see the script kind of writing itself. At least the Mario movie was better, in my opinion. But this was maybe a little funnier because of how fucking over the top and weird it was. So I think both are kind of, I don't know, kind of not the best at what they could be. Maybe sequels could do better? I don't know. When will you be in the next Minecraft movie? No, I will not. But I would imagine we're going to get a lot of Minecraft movies now. And Minecraft TV shows. We're going to get Minecraft animateds. Yeah. Did it have hype moments and aura? Fuck does that mean? Someone said this would be bottom of the barrel trash without Jack Black, to be honest. Yeah, wow, God. Yes and no, because I think Jack Black probably for some people contributes to the bottom of the barrel. You know? Like, that's the kind of effect an actor like this would maybe have, in his performance. Did Noob and Pro appear in the movie? No. We already have a show in the works for Minecraft. Okay. Jason Momoa carried. I thought Jason Momoa was completely fine. He was completely fine. Who did the most aura farming in the movie? Jason Momoa. No. Jack Black. I don't know. Jermaine Clement. The rest of the cast, aside from Jason and Black, weren't that good. They were very... I mean, I agree. The other characters, you'll notice I focused on the Jack Black and the Jason Momoa stuff because they seem to have the most to do. They give the kid the story arc and the emotional arc and the fish out of water stuff. And they were just kind of there. It was very, very, very safe and completely fine performances to just carry a movie. But if you want to talk about the stuff that people are going to remember, yeah, Momoa kind of went over the top. He was doing what the script required of him. And Jack Black was actually fucking insane. So yes, very memorable for better or worse. And I will say that he shot tater tots out of a gun, which I didn't know you could make in Minecraft. And if you can't, then you probably will be able to in the next year. So anyway, that's my review. I don't really have anything else to say about this thing. Thanks for listening. I don't know. I mean, it exists. It certainly exists. And where there's money to be made, the Minecraft will also be there. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I guess. What, like, maybe? Yeah. All right. Well, goodbye. I'll show you at some point some shaders for Minecraft that I found that I think look really cool. I don't know if it'll be a full playthrough, but I might check them out. And, yeah, it could be fun. All right. Now listen. One more thing I'll say is the last movie I watched before watching the Minecraft movie was Heat, which you've heard me talk about a ton lately. And that is maybe one of the best, if not the best, heist, crime, cops and robbers movies ever. Which, in kind of by proxy, makes it one of my favorite movies of all time. Watching how fucking good movies can be by like a master director, you know, and seeing like, I mean, and Pacino goes way over the top in that movie. And yet it really, really fucking works. Seeing a movie like that and then 2 days later seeing the Minecraft movie was a bit of whiplash. But I did it. I have survived. And it really just goes to show you the extremes of life. We live in a society of extremes. And that's why the Joker is going to show up with his secret penis costume. He's going to punch Batman in the face with his inflatable hammer penis. And he's going to save Gotham from Batman. I'll be live early tomorrow, chat. Afternoon. Good night. Goodbye.